Hi, Mrs. Smith. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the incidence and also the prevalence of stuttering and just kind of the nature, the nature of the disorder. So, as you might already know, fluency is on a continuum. In other words, it's not simply that someone is either fluent or not fluent. It exists along a continuum. Every single speaker experiences some sort of disfluency at times. It's just a matter of the type of disfluency, how frequent the disfluency is, and how that disfluency then impacts their lives at large. Um, so it's not a matter of either fluent or not fluent. Again, it sort of exists along a continuum. Exists along a spectrum. Um, because of that, or rather, I should say, because of that, there's a lot of disfluencies that are kind of considered normal. So it would be like whole word repetitions, like I want that. Interjections, you've probably heard me already do them. It's like or like in the middle of a sentence. Revisions, so that'd be something like I want or I need that. These are common in all speakers. Everybody does them. Totally normal. Stuttering like disfluencies are a little bit different. Not to say that normal speakers don't do them, but they do tend to be more typical of people who stutter. That would be part of the word repetitions like baby, or prolongations of a sound like, oh, I want to see the sun. Blocks, so it would be just I'm talking and nothing comes out. That would be a block. Um, these tend to be a little bit more frequent in within people who stutter. Um, kind of coattailing off of that, the incidence for stuttering kind of refers to the number of people in the population who have ever experienced stuttering or stuttering-like episodes. You'll find if you look on the research and you look on the internet, you're going to find numbers between 5 and 10%. Basic rule of thumb is that we tend to tell people roughly about 5% of the there's about a 5% incidence within the population of people who have stuttered at some point in their lives. Prevalence is the number of people who are currently stuttering at any given time at this time. We tend to tell people mostly that tends to be around 1% of the population. Um, Obviously, you can tell between 5 and 10%, or we'll just, for simplicity's sake, we'll say 5% for the incidence, 1%, around 1% for the prevalence. That's a pretty big discrepancy. Um, the reason for that discrepancy largely is due to the number of people who just naturally recover from stuttering, especially young children. Um, they may start out stuttering, but only a small portion continue to stutter in the long term, which leads to the lower prevalence. So they may start out stuttering, which leads to a higher incidence, and then as it naturally sort of resolves, as most cases do, it leads to a lower prevalence because those people are no longer stuttering. So, with that said, if you have any questions about anything that I've said, don't hesitate to let me know. I know this stuff is complicated and I know it's really important, and we just want to be here for you and your kid as much as we can. And like I said, you got any questions, comments, concerns, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much.